Penguin Random House presents The Shape of Bones by Galera. Translated by Alison Entrekin. Read by Charlie Anson. I would walk to school and actually have crane shots worked out in my mind where the crane would be pulling up and looking down at me as a tiny object in the street walking to school. Nicholas Cage. The Urban Cyclist. No terrain is impossible for the urban cyclist. His powerful legs drive the pedals down in alternation, right, left, calculating the degree of incline by the strength required of his thigh and calf muscles for each complete revolution of the front sprocket. The soles of his feet and palms of his hands read each vibration transferred from the tires to the handlebars and frame, making micro-adjustments to his direction and balance at a speed faster than thought. The initial uphill stretch when he first leaves the house is short and serves to lubricate his joints and warm up his muscles. He quickly reaches Reservation Street. Its sloping cobbled lanes are separated by a grassy central reservation. 5 blocks to the strip. Knowing every inch of the way like the back of his hand doesn't make the challenge any less dangerous for the urban cyclist. From one week to the next, so much can change. A resident might decide to have a new driveway put in so they can park their car in the garage more comfortably, and may have to deposit mounds of sand, gravel and cement in the middle of the pavement, an example of the kind of mutant obstacle for which the true urban cyclist must be prepared. There are dogs that shoot out like rockets from behind walls to try to snaffle a bit of their favorite food, an unwary cyclist's shin. Even trees, an apparently peaceful and inoffensive element of the natural world, from one week to the next push out branches and roots which can obstruct the cyclist's path. Weeds sprout from the pavement, concealing pebbles, holes and bricks that can catch one by surprise and cause serious accidents from which only the most skilled, experienced cyclists emerge unscathed. The day is auspicious for a high-risk, high-speed ride. It's chilly out, with a cold wind of medium intensity and a clear sky. Although the wind causes certain discomfort, whipping the cyclist's face and making breathing difficult, it means he perspires less, thus reducing the need to wipe sweat from his eyes and the risk of his hands slipping on the bike's plastic grips, an accident whose price would be nothing less than a few broken teeth and ribs. On Reservation Street, he slows almost to a complete halt and gazes for a few seconds at the 5-block slope stretching down before him, like the throat of a giant pachyderm. Balancing like this without touching the ground requires excellent technique from the rider and perfect synchronicity between cyclist and bike, a synchronicity which the urban cyclist most definitely shares with his old-fashioned but fierce, white-framed, blue-stickered 20-inch Calloy Cross BMX, with a foot brake and red balloon tires with a grooved tread in the place of the slim black originals which were unsuited to the speed and terrain of elite urban cycling. After a few seconds analyzing his course, which includes checking for traffic coming up and down the street, pedestrians or animals on the pavement, moisture on the terrain, the thrust of the wind and the chance of rain, among other things, and already confident after careful inspection back in his garage that the bike is in a perfect state of maintenance, including wheel alignment, spoke adjustment, brake function and air pressure in tires, as well as chain, bearing and sprocket lubrication, a few drops of Singer oil on the main articulated parts are essential, the urban cyclist launches himself downhill, pedaling at such breakneck speed that any observer would be dumbfounded. With a few quick turns of the pedals, he attains a speed at which the vibration of the wheels on the cobblestones is almost too much to bear. But the cyclist is familiar with this stretch, and knows he must hold his wrists firm for a few more seconds until, with a sharp maneuver to the left that would seem like madness to your average cyclist, he jumps over the central reservation, taking advantage of a curb cut, crosses the oncoming lane, shoots diagonally up a driveway to the pavement and deftly executes a quick right-hand swerve with the handlebars, just in time to avoid colliding head-on with an unfinished cement wall, whose surface looks as though bits of human skin and flesh would adhere to it nicely. This is the first of 5 tricky spots in today's course, assuming, that is, that there are no surprises. Now on the pavement, the cyclist passes 5 houses without many bumps or changes in the terrain, and allows himself to relax for a few seconds, reposition his hands on the grips, release the tension in his knees and elbows, and quickly take in the view until his gaze finds the waters of the Guaíba in the distance, dotted with white sails. On his right now are houses built within the last year, several with still immaculate paint and roof tiles.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?